Thank you all for joining us. Those of you who don't know me, if you can go to the next slide, I am Stacy Deems. I'm the Assistant Director of JCamps. I'm joined by Bradley Kirkston, who is our JCamps Director of Operations, and then Allie Feldman is managing the chat room and the slides, and she is our camp coordinator. And we really appreciate you joining us this evening. We're going to be going over our extended care and our bus procedures in detail. And we also hope that you join us for our full parent orientation, which starts at 7:30 tonight. So if you haven't already registered for that, Allie's going to put that link in the chat in just a few moments for you. And you can go ahead and register for that. Otherwise, we're hoping to end this one by 7:15, give everybody a little bit of a break, and then we'll join everybody back at 7:30. It is a different link. What's on the screen right now are who your extended care bus contacts are. Early drop-off leadership lead is Brad Kirkston. I am the lead for leadership for late stay and buses. We also have our early drop lead staff member who is joining us tonight. That is Evie Gelvar. Those of you who've done early drop for a few years will know who she is. And our late stay lead staff member is Rachel Hertz. Again, she's done late stay for a few years as well, so she knows you guys and your kids. And then if you have any other questions or you just need to reach somebody else, obviously you can always contact Ellie at her email and cell phone number there. Not cell phone, oh my gosh, her office phone number. I'm not giving out her cell, no matter how much you beg me. So just so a little note, early drop and late stay this year, just like everything else, is going to look a little bit different. We are keeping campers separated by their bunks or pods as much as possible, and all activities will be socially distanced. So what that means for those of you whose campers have come to early drop and late stay previously is that there will be a little bit more individual playtime, some games, coloring sheets, activities like that. And we're going to kind of rotate them in late stay a little bit to give them some time on the field, but it's not going, they're not still going to be really able to fully engage with campers across the other groups. So just wanted to let you be aware of that, and then also for you to prep your children if you necessary. So yeah, next one, Allie, is the Campanion App. So if you have not already heard about this or know about it, we have signed on to this Campanion App. It is linked directly to your Camp in Touch account, and it has a camper's daily health screening. So prior to arrival anywhere on campus, at early drop, at a bus stop, any late arrivals, we are going to be asking to see your Campanion App. You're going to download it right on the App Store and Google Play. It is CAMP for Campanion. We suggest filling it out at home prior to arriving, because our Wi-Fi on this campus, what we have been learning, is not very strong in the parking lots. So if you need to fill it out in the car lane, we ask that you turn your Wi-Fi off. It does seem to make it a little bit easier, or you can complete it at home. What you're going to want to do, it will send you an email directly to your account showing you your little green check mark, or you can screenshot as well and just show us those screenshots. But we're going to be asking to see your green check marks that have your camper's name and the date, and they're just basic standard questions, and we're going to go over them a little bit more in detail in our next in the next one at 7:30. The next slide goes over our other app, which we've talked a lot about, which is our JCamps Baltimore app. So this app goes over camper photos, camp calendar, push notifications, weather updates, emergency texts, all of that good stuff. But for transportation for this year, because we are doing early drop, late stay, and bus, we also have those groups that are in there. So you can log into an early drop off group, late stay group, dedicated bus route, or your carpool, and that is where we are going to be sending updates. So if the bus is running late, for example, we will send an update through that bus lane. You can sign up for it directly in the app. There are directions and how to do all of this in your Camp in Touch account. And if you have any questions if you get kind of confused or lost, Allie is the expert on this app. So you can definitely give her a call or email, and she'll be more than happy to walk you through it. Next, I wanted to go over some of our COVID policies. Again, we're going to be going over these in much more detail at 7:30, but because we're talking about bringing campers onto campus, I did want to go over some general ones with you. So the main one is that no sick camper or staff member will be permitted at camp. The main thing what this means is if your child or anyone in your household is ill, all of your campers must stay home. So if there's a sibling that doesn't feel well or it has COVID symptoms, if you or a spouse has COVID symptoms, your campers do need to stay home. And if your camper or anyone in the household has a fever, COVID-like symptoms, or even an outstanding COVID test, if you're waiting for COVID PCR results, please, please, please report it to us. It just helps us know what is going on and, helps us kind of gauge where everybody is. So please report that to Allie Feldman. So as I said, and we'll go over a little bit more about how to be readmitted back into camp and what happens if your child develops symptoms. All of that is going to come up in our next presentation. But for this section, I thought this was really important. And our 2021 medical policies were created in consultation with our camp health team, as well as our partners at LifeBridge Health. So we have had lots of conversations with with big people on it. We also, you know what, Allie, I put the slides in the wrong order. Can you go down to the next one really fast? And we'll jump back up to this one. Perfect. So COVID symptoms, they haven't really changed. So if anyone in your household has a fever of over 100.4, a cough, difficulty breathing, diarrhea, vomiting, new loss of smell or taste, a sore throat, a new onset of a severe headache, especially with a fever, please let us know. There is on the Campanion app going to be a question that asks about runny noses or sneezing. That actually is not a Maryland COVID. I think it's actually not even a COVID symptom anymore. So for us, we really just ask that if they have a runny nose or they are sneezing with a point that they cannot keep a mask on indoors, then we ask you to not send them. If it's just a little bit of a sniffle or something, like, you are totally okay. So if you see that question on your Campanion app, you could still hit that, there's no symptoms. So really for this section, we really just ask you to be honest with us, right? We know that we're in Baltimore. We know we hear things through people, campers say things, all of that. It's much better to hear it from you, from everyone, from all of you. And we're only doing this. We're not doing this to be, to be hard or because we don't want your campers here. We're doing this to keep everybody safe. So we're just asking that you be honest. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask. We'll be more than happy to walk you through and answer those questions for you. Okay, so if we can go back up to that other slide now, perfect. So Brad, you want to talk about early drop-off?
Yes, I would love to. And again, Evie Galvar is on this call too, who is really the head of early drop-off. So if I forget to mention anything, I'm sure she will help me out. But we're really excited to have the return of our early drop-off program. It's really great, and we're really excited to have your kids starting as early as 7 a.m. Early drop-off goes from 7 a.m. to 8:35. If you arrive after 8:35, you are going to have to go through the carpool line. Early drop-off will take place in our front circle of our JCC. For those who don't know our campus, if you're driving up, you'll see a sign that says Sapolsky Circle. You just drive right up, and right next to our main entrance, there's a room that's called the Performer Room. That door will be opened, and there will be more than likely Evie or one of her staff members and a security guard outside to check your Campanion app and do a temperature screening. At that point, once we approve once your child has been temp checked and screened, they will be brought inside our Performer Room. For early drop-off, they will be staying in the Performa until 8 o'clock or until there's 10 kids, and then we will go outside. We highly recommend bringing a sweatshirt or a nice little jacket because it is going to get very, very cold in the morning, as we know. So if we are outside, it will be cold. Basically, while your child is in early drop-off, we will have different zones and different activities for your child to separate them from some of the other campers. If your camper happens to be in the same bunk as somebody else, they will be in the same group playing around, but we will have staff in different zones and lots and lots of games and activities to keep your child engaged. And then basically at the end of early drop-off, we line your kids up and bring them into the gym and bring them directly to their counselors and get the day started. Evie, is there anything you'd like to mention real quick?
Nope, I don't think so. I'm excited to have my regulars back though.
Awesome. And for our new families too, we're excited to have you as well. But thank you all.
And then late stay.
So we just talked about the morning. Let's talk about the end of the day. So our late stay will be headquartered out of our J Day tent. All you have to do when you're here to pick up is follow the signs for JCamps Carpool, and basically a staff member will be there to assist you. You get to remain in your car the whole entire time. You don't need to get up. The staff member will greet you. They will do an ID check, make sure you're on the authorized grown-up list to pick up, or a parent or guardian. And then we will walk you to the counselors, and the counselors will walk your child directly to the car. It is a new procedure this year for late stay, so we're very excited to try it out. And like we said, late stay is going to be in the J Day tent, and we'll have lots of great games and lots of amazing experiences on our lower fields. And then if your child is picked up after 6 p.m., there's a late fee of $2 per minute per child that will be applied. Anything else for late stay? Great. And then if you need to have any questions about contacting extended care staff, the easiest thing to do is to contact Ali Feldman in our lobby office or Matthew Rubenstein in our field office. That's the hours they're here. But then, of course, if you need to call before 8 or after 5, feel free to call the front desk, and they will more than likely walk you one of our staff members, and we will get to you very, very quickly. But please feel free to call. Feel free to let us know of any changes or anything. That's what we're here for. Thank you. Any questions about the early drop-off and late stay programs? We're going to hold off on busing. We're going to talk about busing next, but we just wanted to take a pause to see if there's any questions about early drop-off and late stay.
So the first question is, what about late stay this week? How is that working?
You mean for
pre-week
Tennis
2?
and Mission Possible. So late stay this week is actually held in our courtyard. So we are, for late stay, when you pull up, you're going to pull up to the front circle. There should be the staff member there. If not, you're welcome to walk inside, leave your car, in the circle, walk inside and just check in with the front desk staff, let them know that you're here for late stay. They will then walk you the staff members on the courtyard who will come out, do the same exact ID check, make sure that, you're on the authorized grown-up list or you're a parent or guardian, and then release the campers to you. So that's the main difference between this week and any other weeks coming up. And then most likely at the very end of the summer, the extra post weeks of camp, most likely we'll go back to this same one of doing it in the courtyard versus that. And I don't know if Brad had mentioned it or not, but it does get really chilly in the mornings. So definitely bring a sweatshirt or something for your campers. I may have missed it, but.
Great. Any other questions about the early drop-off and late stay programs?
Can you please direct me to the Campanion app? Yes, really quickly. And we will be talking about this at 7:30, so feel free to stick around. I saw Stacey put it in the chat. But if you go to the Google Play Store or the App Store, depending on if you have an Android or an iPhone, you're going to type in the word Campanion, like companion, but camp, so with an A. And then you will download it that way, and we will go over all of the instructions next session. So please stick around. All right, we have no more questions, so I'm going to move to the next slide.
Perfect. So now we're going to talk about busing. If you are an early drop late stay person who is not going to be handling busing, we're not going to be offended if you leave and don't listen. You're more than welcome to stick around, but I just wanted to let you know that we'll give you a little bit of time back. So for our busing section, we are first really so excited to be able to offer busing this summer, with something that we were obviously not sure we were going to be able to do. We did a lot of research and a lot of rules have been put in place and by other areas. We've searched through all of those. We looked at what the school districts are doing. Obviously, we talked to LifeBridge Health, and just like everything else, things are also going to look a little bit different at the bus stops. So we're going to go over these policies, procedures, and and rules that have been put into place to ensure that our campers, our staff, and your families are kept safe. We know that some of these may be a little bit difficult to follow. We understand that, but we really ask for your cooperation in following the rules, as well as preparing your campers who may have ridden our buses and gone to the bus stops and see the bus stop as a really great place to see their friends and give them hugs in the morning and all of that other stuff. So really kind of prepare them that, you know, it is going to look a little bit different, and we do have to wait in line, and we do have to wait our turn, and all of that kind of good stuff. So that's why we're going over them with you. Again, we're going to have time for questions at the end, and we're more than happy to help you go through this. So the main part is our express bus policies. So buses are operating at a limited capacity. We are seating campers, 1 camper per seat, unless they are in the same household. Siblings can sit together, and that's only up to 2 campers from the same household can be seated together. The seat directly behind the driver must remain vacant for all trips. That is a rule that we were going to put in place anyway, but turns out that our bus contract people put it in place as well. And whenever possible, campers will be seated in every other row or a little bit spaced out from each other. And we're going to try to sit them a little bit staggered as well. Some of the buses have majority siblings, so it's a little bit more difficult to do because the seats are a little bit more full, but we're going to do our best to spread the campers out. The bus counselor, and really more so Allie, in all honesty, we are assigning seats in the camp office and providing that to the bus counselor, and we're maintaining a weekly seating chart. So that way, if we do need to contact trace anything, we will be able to know exactly where the camper was sitting and who is sitting around them. Barring any awful inclement weather like some of you are experiencing right now, buses will operate to support airflow. What that means is that windows will be down as much as possible. The roof hatches will be open, you know, and we're going to get as much airflow through the bus as possible. We are requiring masks for campers, staff, and the bus driver the entire time they are on the bus. So just so you know, just so you can prepare your kids as well, that the masks are going to be required. And I know there's been some questions from families asking about whether they can change bus stops or change buses because a friend is riding it. Because of all of these rules, we really can't accept bus requests. So what I can tell you is that our buses are going to be leaving back to back, meaning that the 2 Chizik buses are following each other to Chizik, and the 2 Beit Yeladim buses are following each other to Beit Yeladim. So barring any like mishaps, and we're going to say, I don't even want to say what they can possibly be, but like, you know, mechanical mishaps on the buses, those buses will arrive at pretty much the same time. And that is, we planned that purposely to help families. So our procedures at the bus stops, regardless of your vaccination status, we're asking that masks are worn by everybody during drop off and pickup. And it's really because obviously we don't know who's vaccinated or not. And then we're also asking our campers to wear masks here. We're going to go over that a little bit more at 7:30. And it's just a really great way to model for your kids as well. We're asking to maintain social distancing. Again, I know this is going to be the hardest part because you're going to see people you haven't seen in a long time. You're going to want to talk to them. Your kids are going to want to give their friends hugs and all of that stuff. And we totally understand that. But at this point, you're not really sure who's in groups and who's not in groups. And you probably have siblings. So we're really asking to keep, you know, at least a 6-foot distance between households. You're more than welcome to talk to each other. You're more than welcome to do that. Just we're asking not to gather in tight groups and to keep a distance. And we also are going to have campers and staff sanitize their hands as they board and exit the bus. Really, this is all new for us as well. Like, we know this is going to work, but obviously, especially the first few days and on Mondays, it's going to be a little bit, you know, it's going to be a learning curve. So we're just asking everybody to please remain patient. Just understand that these rules are in place, again, for the safety of everyone. And that is our #1 priority. So that is our bus procedures. Morning drop off. During morning bus drop off, we are asking families to remain in their vehicles until buses arrive. Now, that's also to help, to help you on that first part of it, which is you're going to want to kind of gather, and that's just a natural thing. So remain in the vehicles until your buses arrive and the bus counselor is posted at the bus ready to check in campers. And we'll go through those times in a little bit. Again, just like when you come up to camp, we're requiring that health check. So the Campanion app, and we'll do a temperature check as well. And this year we're asking that parents or grown-ups wait with their campers until they are cleared and boarded on the bus. So it's not something where in the past you were able to check your camper in with the bus counselor and then you were able to leave. This year, because our bus counselors have to get the kids into their assigned seats and have to do all of this health check screening, whoever is the adult dropping the campers off is really going to be an extra hand and an extra eye to keep everybody safe in those parking lots. So we're asking you to wait with your campers until they're cleared and boarded on the bus. Afternoon pickup, it's the same thing, exactly the opposite. So checkout procedures, you're going to stand in line and walk up to the bus. When the bus pulls up, bus counselor will open the door when they are ready to dismiss the campers. Campers will be dismissed by household, and they will only be dismissed to a parent, a guardian, or someone on the authorized grown-up form. Again, until they get to know you and get to know who's picking people up, this is going to take a little bit longer. You're going to see the kids are going to see you. They're going to be excited, going to want to get off of that bus. So, just if you can just remind them to please, hang on and we'll get them off. Be prepared with your ID. And just so you know that our bus staff and actually all of our camp staff are instructed to, if somebody shows up who's not on the authorized grown-up form or doesn't have a form of ID with them, they're instructed to contact the camp office immediately and let us know. And then we are going to be contacting a parent or a guardian that has registered the child. So just so you are aware, that is our procedure. So, it may take a little bit longer if you don't have somebody on that authorized grown-up form. The authorized grown-up forms are printed once a week. So if you know at 3 o'clock that Grandma Jenny is going to be picking up, Sally from the bus, and Grandma Jenny isn't on that authorized grown-up form, and you go into your Camp and Touch account and add her, that's amazing, but please also contact Allie or Matthew and let them know, because we will then put a note in that bus file so that they know that they are done. Because if the bus counselor is just looking at the sheet, they're not going to have Grandma Jenny on it because their sheet was printed out either the Friday or Sunday before. So that is also causes a little bit of confusion. Just like late stay, there is a late fee of $2 per minute per camper. And if you have a change in transportation, if your kid is not going to be going on the bus, but you're staying at the JCC because you're going to go swimming or something like that, please let us know in writing by 2 o'clock. This is even more important this year because our buses are leaving at the same exact time carpool is running, and there's really not a lot of overlap with it. Sometimes in the past, we've been lucky enough to take a camper off of the bus and leave them at the JCC. The chances of that this summer is a little bit slimmer. So just please, let us know if anything changes.
Stace, I just want to answer a really good question that goes along with the slide. We have about 5 minutes left. So I did get a question asking if you're carpooling with another family, how does it work with the Campanion app? So you will need to get a screenshot from that parent that you're carpooling with to make sure that you have the results to show the bus counselor. So that is a really great question. And then another question I got is, if my child gets sick sitting in the rear of the bus, how can I request a seating assignment near the front? So that's a really good question. We do the seating charts about 2 weeks out. So I'm doing the seating charts. So please send me an email and I will be sure to sit them towards the front of the bus.
Yep. Perfect. So that is that. We'll go through the rest of them because I know you want to get to the bus time. So we'll get there. Express bus rules. Very similar to any other bus rule, right? Keep your hands, arms, feet, all legs, all belongings inside the bus. Follow the directions, remain seated. All of these rules are located in your parent packet. So the main thing here really I want to talk to you about is that if you, by looking at these rules and you think that your camper is going to have a difficult time in following these rules, please just contact us. Let us know. We'll walk you through it. We can talk through some stuff, just like what Allie had said. We can get them seating closer to a bus counselor or something like that, so they are unsuccessful. And just with all of these policies and rules, a camper or family's inability to follow them will definitely result in a phone call to the family, and and just kind of talking through different ways. But just want to let you know that it may also result in temporary or permanent removal from the bus if they're not being followed on a consistent basis. Okay. Express bus times. This is the most important part. So there's 3 times to be aware of. There's the bus counselor check-in begins. That's the time when your bus counselor is at the door, posted, ready to check in your campers, right? Have your health screenings completed and everything ready prior to getting in line. Campers cannot be checked in with the bus counselor prior to that time that we talked about before. There's the bus departure time. We're not able to hold the bus under any circumstances. We see you driving through the parking lot, waving us down. We can't stop again. So we really appreciate you arriving at the check-in time. If you do miss the bus, you will be required to get your camper to campus on your own. Bus arrival time, scheduled time of arrival for the bus. We talked about that, the late fee, and really just know that this is really dependent a lot on traffic and everything else as well. So we're doing our best to get everybody that the bus is back by 4:45. You can check your app constantly for updates in case buses are running late. And we are on top of that. Our bus counselors have their Waze on and are texting us, letting us know approximate arrival times if they are too far off from that 4:45 time. So we'll go to Park Heights JCC. So our Park Heights JCC bus, Allie, can you flip really fast? So the Park Heights JCC bus, that's bus 1. It is at 8:20 a.m. the bus counselor check-in begins. 8:35 is the bus departure, and 4:45 is an afternoon bus arrival. At the Park Heights JCC, buses are going to be pulling up right in front of the old ELC, early childhood doors. And just remember that there's no parking in the fire lane. So you really do have to park in the spaces. And there is also no waiting inside the lobby this year. So in the past, we've had people wait in the lobby. That isn't happening this year either. Kizikamuna. So Kizikamuna, we have 2 buses. Bus 2 is Kizik A and bus 3 is Kizik B. Kizikamuna is on 8100 Stevenson Road. It's at Stevenson Road in the Beltway. Bus counselor check-in begins at 8:30 in the morning. Bus departure is 8:45, and 4:45 is our estimated arrival time. In the afternoon, buses will depart and arrive from that school entrance. And last, we have Beit Yaladim. And this one, there is a change. So Beit Yaladim, while we're still calling it Beit Yaladim A and B, buses 4 and 5, because of Beit Yaladim has their own carpool procedures that are running at the exact same time. It was making their parking lot really, really tight. But at 89:30, and I'm going to show you a map in a moment, at 89:30 in the building behind them is Beit Chaverim congregation, and we are partnering with them as well this summer. So we are actually going to be busing right in front of their building. And it's an 8:15 bus counselor check-in, 8:30 bus departure, 4:45 afternoon arrival. And the next slide has a map for our Beit Yaladim families. I'm also going to be emailing this out for everybody to know. But on the map, as you can see, we have Old Annapolis Road at the very top. Beit Yaladim Preschool is that building to the upper left. And then towards the bottom right, you'll see 8930 Old Annapolis Road. That building right there is where Beit Chaverim congregation is located. In an ideal situation, what we're hoping happens majority of the days is that the buses are going to be able to pull up directly against the curb of that building because we're getting there so early. And the parents can park in the parking spaces. If for some reason there's any cars that are blocking those parking spaces where the buses are hopefully going to be pulling up, then that'll switch around. Those buses will park in between those little berms out there, and parents can park around them, and you'll be walking your kid out into the parking lot. That is not our ideal situation. Just want to let you know that is going to be based off of what the cars are there. But historically, there's not a lot of people. So that is it. So any questions on busing that we have not answered or concerns or anything like that?
Feel free to put it in the chat.
All right. So far, I don't have anything.
I
Just
answered.
Just so
Wow.
you guys know that bus counselors will be on the bus with the kids. They do during our staff orientation undergo a separate training as well. So if there are any issues, we will reach out and let you guys know, but you can 100% trust our staff.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
Okay,
I
well,
think
great.
that's it. If you have a question that pops in your head during the 7:30 Zoom, feel free to put it in the chat. We will definitely answer it, but we're going to hop off and start that meeting now. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Yep, we'll see you in a little bit. Bye.